What if soy milk is just regular milk, but it's introducing itself in Spanish?
Damn.
Soy milk.
What if the meteor that killed the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Was actually a UFO and we're the aliens?
We might not belong here.
I guess if you're having deep conversations with the homies, you might unveil some truth there. As always, make sure to follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at It's Lielers. And also do not forget to follow me on TikTok at Lielers. Lielers on TikTok. So, I was not expecting last week's vlog to do so well. Y'all need to go check it out. I guess if you guys didn't listen to 2 weeks ago's episode, I mentioned that we weren't going to do a podcast episode, and instead I did a vlog video where I went to the Houston Horror Film Fest for the first time. And yes, that video is available on my YouTube channel. It got 100 views, I guess you would say, which is good compared to the Mexico vlog video, which only had 24 views. So I'm like, I guess. So definitely go check it out. You guys get to know me in a different level, like in terms of what was the first horror movie I ever watched. Hell, I even talk about Slipknot briefly. But I do get you guys covered on the events that happened at D23, in case you didn't know, because it was happening all in that moment. So yeah, I'm not going to cover that much of D23 in this episode. So yeah, now y'all know. But I will say we are going to be covering maybe 2 weeks worth of content. Some of it you might already know. Some of it has been happening this past week. I'm going to briefly talk about Alien Romulus since it's currently in theaters right now. I'm also throwing my thoughts about Falling in Reverse's new album, Popular Monsters, and more WWE drama. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this episode started. So kicking off the movies category, we need to talk about Kraven the Hunter. The trailer is out. I'm surprised it's already showing on TV. When I was watching SmackDown on Friday, I was like, oh my god, okay. The first thing I have to say about the whole trailer is woof, woof. Oh my god. So Sony is still collaborating with Marvel to bring this film, and I'm very hopeful because Madame Web and Morbius was not it, and I think a lot of people can agree when it comes to that. So we were thinking, okay, once we see this trailer, maybe Sony's gonna flop it, who knows. I don't know what is up with most of the Sony movies except for Spider-Man itself, that just doesn't do well. And we talked briefly about Madame Web. We never talked about Morbius, and I still haven't seen it to this day, but I don't need to for the same reason that it just sucked. But the trailer is out for you guys to go check it out. I have to say, my boy Aaron Taylor Johnson is growing in the big screen. He went from Kick-Ass to Ford Brody and Godzilla to Quicksilver and is now Sergei Kravenov, also known as Kraven. Whenever I was watching the trailer, I think I'm starting to get a crush on the Russian language, because damn, but here's the thing. So we already know Aaron Taylor Johnson did Quicksilver. You know, he's also another Russian character. So I think I was comparing the accent between both characters. This accent is much more different than Quicksilver. However, I did read an article from Looper.com that says that fans are not buying it. I went ahead and looked at IGN's post on social media where they posted the trailer for people to check out. And the comment section, everybody was giving positive responses. So I'm over here what is going on? That's why I'm let me know what y'all think. Honestly, me personally, I love it. It's so hot. But anywho, we also got to see Russell Crowe as Kraven's father, also known as Nikolai Kravenov. And then I think a lot of people cannot ignore the fact that we got a better looking Rhino. We haven't seen Rhino since the last time he showed up on the big screen, which was on Andrew Garfield's Spooderman. Yeah. And it looked more tech than that movie, but in the Kraven trailer, the character kind of transforms himself into Rhino. It's not, oh, let's go ahead and put into gear. No, when you look at it up close on the trailer, you get to see the character who is Alexei Sistovich, I think. I don't know how to pronounce it because, again, I'm not Russian. I'm sorry for the Russian listeners. But on the clip, if you pause it at the right moment where Rhino looks like he's going up against Kraven, you get to see the face. Like, it blends in with the skin. So I have a feeling that this movie will do well in the movie theaters compared to the other Sony movies that we see. The only reason, and I think is probably the main reason, is because it's now an R-rated film. So this movie is set to release on December 13th, but I have no hopes that it's gonna surpass Deadpool and Wolverine. And since we're already talking about that, let's go ahead and shift gears. So congratulations to Deadpool and Wolverine for crossing $1 billion at the box office. And it actually surpassed Joker to become the #1 highest R-rated grossing film ever. And did you know, it is also reported that Robert Downey Jr. was going to cameo as Tony Stark. It didn't happen, like what the fuck? And yes, it is during that one scene you're thinking about if you watch the movie. However, after reading the article of where this was posted, they're saying that Robert Downey Jr. said that after the announcement that he was going to be playing Doctor Doom in the next Avengers Secret Wars, it wouldn't have made any sense to come back as Tony. But then again, well, I can't really say it just in case for those people that haven't watched the movie. I was like about to throw a spoiler scene and I'm like, wait, no, I can't. So I'm biting my tongue on it. But if you guys are thinking what I'm thinking, like he could have, he could have made that. But he's not the only one that potentially could have a cameo. Halle Berry says that she could have returned as Storm, but Ryan Reynolds never asked her. And I'm over here like, I demand answers of what the fuck happened. But at the same time, I'm like, if you think about it, with everybody that was a part of this film, it did them justice. You kind of don't want to overload it with a bunch of cameos. I don't know. Thoughts? Maybe, for sure. At the same time, the box office kind of speaks for itself. Congratulations again, because yes, Deadpool and Wolverine, I would say, is it one of my favorite movies? Yes, for sure. Would I put him on my top 5s? Debatable, but for sure, by far, Deadpool 3 is my favorite movie out of all 3 Deadpool movies. I am telling you guys, if you haven't watched it, please do so. You're not gonna regret it. If you guys watched my blog video last week, remember how I briefly talked about 9 Inch Nails being a part of the next Tron movie? No? Well, go check out my blog video. But anywho, I also found out who's going to be in the movie. I saw some pictures from People Magazine and they actually posted of who's going to be a part of the cast. And that includes Evan Peters, Greta Lee, Jeff Bridges, and Jared Leto. However, I saw a video on TikTok where somebody is like saying, oh yeah, I can't believe 9 Inch Nails is going to be in the movie. Oh, but guess what? Jared Leto's also going to be there. And I went to the comment section and people were saying, we were so close, and I'm like, what is up with the hate that they have towards Jared Leto? So I went ahead, looked up on Google, went to Reddit, and I found out probably one of the reasons why a lot of people hate on Jared Leto. I'm not going to say what it is, but it is not about his acting, potentially about Joker, or even his music. It's kind of, creepy. But anywho, yeah, definitely go check it out. I'm kind of excited for the movie again because 9 Inch Nails is going to be a part of it. So I got to support my boys. But at the same time, I'm like, I haven't watched the previous Tron movies, so I don't know what to expect. Anywho, I have Disney for now. Maybe I might check it out. Who knows? Right now, I'm trying to finish watching Bridgerton, which, by the way, yes, I finally finished watching Succession. Kind of sad how it ended, but it is what it is. So yeah, that is what I'm currently watching, and I'm already on season 3, which is the last season they have. So after that, I need to find out what else to watch and keep myself entertained. But anywho, I'm getting off topic. We need to go ahead and move it along. So I don't know if you guys know, but I found out through Hollywood Reporter that James Cameron is reaffirming that he is working on the next Terminator project. I'm like, what? He didn't say what it could potentially be. My theory is it could be a movie, it could be a series, or possibly a reboot. Arnold, are you coming back? Who knows? But those are my theories. But now that he's going to be involved in it, who knows? Maybe it could be good. But at the same time, don't expect it anytime soon because, again, I mentioned last week the whole news about Avatar coming out. Pretty sure my boy's busy, so. But it's out there. He said it's on my... I'm letting you guys know. The other thing I also wanted to talk about, I mentioned this last week on the blog video. We're talking about Borderlands. So this movie, without a doubt, flopped the box office with only 8.8 million domestically for opening weekend. So that was last week. It was also reported that the movie had a 115 million budget. I'm like, what the fuck? I checked out the Rotten Tomato score and it is a nasty 10%, while the audience score is at a solid 52%. So it just, no. Unfortunately, it didn't do so well. And for some reason, TikTok's like, hey, you want to see why it didn't do so well? I saw a clip on there, and not only did the storyline did not align with the game plot, but the CGI, oh my god, it was so bad. And for somebody who uploaded it in a pretty bad quality, it is so noticeable on there. So I'm over here wondering, where did the money go? One person said in the comment section of that video, quote, "This is what happens when studios don't listen to their fans." At the same time, I'm like, if you think about it, a lot of people are just making these movies just for money, for profit. And casting is not gonna help it, you know, like that's the thing. They casted all of these people, I guess great actors and whatnot, but again, it just didn't help the movie whatsoever. Now, because of the failing response of this movie, Gearbox's CEO is now hinting at a possible fourth Borderlands game. My question is that the right solution? I don't know if it's a good thing, if it's a bad thing. All I know is that another sequel for Borderlands in movie format is definitely not gonna happen. Let's just say that. The last thing I want to talk about in the movies category, and this is kind of a shocker for me. So Alien Romulus is actually doing well in the box office. What? And it's doing so well that they dethroned Deadpool and Wolverine from the #1 spot. What the? I even checked the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it is currently standing at an 81% Rotten Tomatoes score with an 86 audience score. Oh my god. Now, here's the thing about me. I'm not too big on the Alien movies. I did watch most of them, including Alien vs. Predator. But I will let you guys know that there is a timeline for where Romulus actually starts. So, thanks to a photo that was provided by Culture Crave, I'm going to let you guys know how is the order of the Alien timeline. And it is not the way how you think, like Alien 1, 2, and 3, and then how it's been released. So what starts off the whole timeline is the movie Alien Earth, which is taking place in 2092. Now the next one after that, which is a movie that a lot of people was not aware that it was going to be like aligned with Alien, is Prometheus. I actually got to see this one and I was like, I was not a fan of it. But this one takes literally a year after Alien Earth. And then after that is Alien Covenant, which is taking place in 2004. Same thing, I watched it, it was meh, just another Alien movie. And then the first Alien takes place after that. And that one is taking place in 2122. That's like 100 years after, or less than 100 years now, if you consider 2022 right now. But no, yeah, so that's what it takes place. And then right after that comes in Alien Romulus, taking place on 2142. And then after that will be Aliens. It's technically the sequel after the first Alien, but they're calling it Aliens, plural. And that one is taking place in 2179. And alongside that same year, Alien 3 is right next to it. So I'm like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. So Romulus is just, let me like squeeze in a little bit over here, and then boom, you know, whatever. And then the final part for the Alien timeline is Alien Resurrection, taking place in 2381. Now, I haven't seen that. That's the only one I haven't seen. I might consider watching it to maybe get like a refreshment of how it ends, maybe. But yeah, I'm like, other than that, maybe I'll potentially watch Romulus like whenever it comes out, available to rent on digital, so I can like watch it. If anything, maybe Covenant ruined the franchise for me. We talked about like some of these horror films last week during the blog about how they make the movies and it just doesn't hit anymore. And I think Alien is one of them. Again, back then, a lot of people were scared of watching it. And by the way, shout out to the marketing team for Alien Romulus, because the way how they promoted this movie was wow. Like, I wish I got to experience it, but I'm pretty sure like here in Houston, they probably didn't do it. So in case if you guys do not know, there was actually like, I don't know if it was props or actual people just laying on the floor and having like the little tiny alien on their faces. And then like one guy in particular was like in the movie theaters and like started freaking out, and then all of a sudden, boom, like tiny alien comes out, and I'm like, damn, that would have been so cool to see like up close. But yeah, no, they did it so good, and I'm pretty sure maybe that's why the movie did so well, who knows. But yeah, Alien Romulus is currently out in theaters, so if you guys are interested in watching it, go watch it. I probably am recommending it to you because, again, Alien goes a long way. Like, we're talking maybe in the 70s or 80s when this movie came out. So yeah. And with that being said, that actually wraps up the movies category, and now we're gonna move to TV. And this is something I've been wanting to talk about since last week. The trailer for The Last of Us Season 2 is out. I swear to God, I will be pissed. Mark my words. They promised me it wasn't going to be this season. Along the trailer, okay, if you guys have played the game, you know what's about to happen. But me, I cannot help of the freaking background dialogue where Abby, we're all assuming, is saying, Joe Miller, I am your consequence. I'm like, fucking hell. I'm getting all like emotional over here because not only we love Joe Miller in the game, but also Papi Pascal. Like, please, oh god. So yeah, my thing is that once I was watching it, I want to say this is definitely like the beginning stages of part 2 of the game. Like the dialogue, the atmosphere, everything is screaming like how we're experiencing the game for the first time. Joe's over there getting asked like what happened when Ellie was going to get that procedure done, and he was just like, I saved her. But we all know what happened. Again, go check out season 1, available on Max. Moral of the story of season 2, and I'm pretty sure part of the game as well, we all know that what goes around comes around. So if you guys have not played the game, brace yourselves. It's gonna be a fucking roller coaster. So my thing is that I feel like season 2 is probably gonna be like the first half of part 2 of the game. And you know, if season 3 does come around, it will be like the final part. And then what? Is that it for the show? Because there's no continuation for the game itself. And if you guys do not know, I think Max actually confirmed it, is that The Last of Us Season 2 will premiere on January of next year in 2025. But no exact date has been confirmed. I swear to God, the first episode better not be an emotional roller coaster, and it better not premiere like around my birthday weekend. I am not ready to cry on my birthday, so there's that. Since we're talking about potential shows coming to an end, in case you don't know, House of the Dragon co-creator Ryan Condal announced that the series will be coming to an end on season 4. And I know it's so early because what's going on with season 3. So far season 3 is planned to be written and produced next year. And if you probably watched season 2's finale, it was not a favorable one. Apparently though, it does make sense since season 3 will be, like my theories are, that it will be involving the Dance of the Dragons, and season 4 would potentially be the aftermath. If you guys do not know what I'm talking about, go read the book. So there's that. My other theory is that the series will potentially end maybe in 2028, knowing like the creators, the way how the show has been running. They take forever to like film, produce it, and release it. But at the same time, I'm like, you guys could rush it because I think a lot of people don't like House of the Dragon. But also we know there's a bunch of other Game of Thrones projects that Max is going to be releasing. So yeah, can y'all speed it up, please and thank you? And that was actually the last thing I have for you guys in the TVs category. Now let's go ahead and talk about music. Kicking off with Slipknot. I know I briefly talked about it in the blog video last week, but I need to talk about that set list because I didn't went details into details. So Slipknot actually released what their set list is going to be for the 25th anniversary tour, which I am hoping I get to go. But when I was looking at it, I was like, there's a potential song I talked about in one of my old episodes. We mentioned it, we said it exists, and not a lot of people thought it existed, but it's on the set list. So the set list is basically intro. What the fuck is the intro? Is it the intro from the self-titled album? And then after that is gonna be Sick, Eyeless, Wait and Bleed. But it's not going into order because after that, boom, we get This and Eeyore on there. And then after that would be Tattered Sid Remix. That's what it is. It's basically Tattered and Torn. However, and I'm going by the order of the track list. And the set list is like, you know what? We're going to rearrange some things. So it's not like you're listening to the whole album in order. But yeah, that Tattered and Sid remix is like, wait a second, after that would have been, Purity, but instead it's Me Inside and Liberate. And then after that is the song that I've been talking about like a while ago, and I'm like, oh my god, I never thought it was gonna come back and haunt me. Frail Limb Nursery is on the freaking set list. Oh my fucking god. Which is why I want to say this is the main reason why I really do want to go to the tour. Because that song, I don't know if it was blacklisted again because it is kind of disturbing, but it's out there on YouTube. When you listen to it on the albums, it gets skipped on. Especially like on Spotify, it doesn't exist on there. I don't know if it exists in Apple Music or other places, but seeing Frail Limb Nursery on here, I'm like, oh shit. And that actually leads off to Purity. That's why I'm like, oh my god. Not only that too, Prosthetics is on here. I love that song. That's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. I'm not saying like my top favorite, but still. And then No Life, Only One is in there. And then right after that, I want to say like they make pauses because they split it into sections. Because after Only One, there's like lines. And then it says hidden/track intro. What could that possibly be given that the fact that Deluded is not on here? And I'm kind of pissed because Deluded is also one of my favorite songs. It's an underrated Slipknot song. Like whenever this set list was released, I asked people, hey, did Slipknot perform Deluded? One person in particular said that supposedly Corey or somebody in the band said that they will never play Deluded live. And I'm like, why? Is there something I'm not, reading into the lyrics or who knows? But at the same time, I guess I don't want to know what the hidden track intro is. I'm probably just going to wait it out if I see them live, hopefully. And then after that, hidden track intro is the main songs that probably were very popular in the album, which is Spit It Out, Surfacing, and then Scissors. I was surprised to see that they're not going to end the show with Surfacing like they always do. Instead, they're ending it with Scissors. And again, Scissors has never been performed, or it hasn't been performed in so long. It's a really long song, just so y'all know. I think last time I checked it was like 8 minutes, but it's so good. I loved it. I read on a post on social media during Noblesville, Indiana's show that Corey Taylor said, quote, "This is dedicated to every maggot who stuck by us for 25 years. We're gonna take you to someplace fucking dark." And I actually saw some videos on TikTok where Corey's having his little, mini breakdown live. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Because, of course, everybody was in a dark place in the beginning stages of Slipknot. I think one of the members even mentioned that they're surprised that they didn't kill each other, because they were literally trying to cut their throats because of how stressful it was, how miserable it was, who knows. But yeah, it was pretty dark. And I think that's why maybe the band got so popular during that time, because not only them, all of us fans, we were all going through a dark time. back then it was hard, I guess we would say, because, we were in the beginning stages of the internet. Bullying was pretty common. They didn't take it serious. Mental health was not a thing back then too. So I feel like, yeah, we're growing now, but at the same time, we can never forget about those moments. But we will see if I get to see them live, praying and hoping. It looks like it might happen. Again, I don't know. Holy shit, is this my sign? I just realized what today is. It's exactly in a month when Slipknot is going to be in Dallas. Holy shit. Please tell me I'm going to go, please. But yeah, you guys will find out eventually. If I do go, I'm obviously going to be talking about it on the episode. Maybe a blog video? Dun dun dun. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move it along. I need to talk about Rammstein. I mentioned briefly about it on the blog video, and I said it was going to be too long, and this is why. So Rammstein wrapped up their European tour and actually posted a message on social media. It was all in German, of course, but thankfully some fans actually translated. Again, I'm still learning German, but I'm not there yet. So it is a very long message. I have some theories afterwards, but this is what they said. We want to say a big thank you to all of our fans, our friends, and visitors to our concerts. Thank you for the support, your warmth and support on this 2024 tour. We could feel it everywhere and felt carried on a wave full of emotions. It was an honor to be able to play for you, to be part of these happy moments and the joy we shared. Because of you, we are a band that has found its joy in music and on stage again. Every concert was a healing act for us. We thank you for that. We have been actively dealing with the allegations made against the band since last summer. We take, in parentheses, these accusations seriously, even if a lot of it is baseless and grossly exaggerated. It is an internal process that will accompany us for a long time. Each of us does it in our own way and deals with it differently. At this point, we would particularly like to thank our families and loved ones for their unrestricted support and love. They too were hit hard by the allegations made and the media's handling of them. We thank our crew, our management, all of our employees, and everyone who has supported us and remained loyal along this journey. This massive stadium tour with this great show and this extraordinary stage has now come to an end after 135 concerts in 5 years with 6 million fans. It's not Rammstein. It's not us. It's not you. The path continues. And it ends with the one that I do know because of their song, Adieu, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen. And after reading it, the only thing I'm asking myself is, what does this mean? Like, is Rammstein done? Are they retiring? Are we not gonna hear from them in so many years? Who knows? Like, yeah, so I was hoping potentially they could come back, but they included on this message, like, they counted 5 years. And yeah, I saw them in 2022 when they were in San Antonio. So I'm over here like, okay, well, I guess the North American tour is also included. But I don't know. I don't think it is their retirement. I feel like they still got one more potentially album coming out and then touring that too. I don't know. Like, either way, if they ever do decide to come back to North America, you best believe I will see them again. Or, if I'm rich enough and see them in Europe, who knows? But anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. The next thing we gotta talk about is Falling in Reverse's anticipated album, Popular Monster. Now, we've talked about it because of the song Ronald and All My Life. So I'm like, okay, let's give it a listen. And, I've listened to Falling in Reverse. Hell, I fucking know Ronnie Radke since Escape the Fate. I don't know if I ever mentioned it in a previous episode, but to this day, I still have a CD that has like a collaboration of many bands. And the CD is called Unsound. And that's how I know bands like Escape the Fate with Ronnie Radke. I even know from first to last. So like before Skrillex, I knew him as Sonny Moore from the band From First to Last, and it's in that album. So that's how I knew about Ronnie Radke. We go way back since fucking what, 06? Oh my god. But anywho, the reason why we're talking about Falling in Reverse is because this album is giving something that any other band has ever given. And I feel like that's why Ronnie has been getting some hate. I'm not saying all the hate based on this reason, but, you know, a lot of people say that whenever you're in a band, if it's rock or metal, you should stick to the genre. And Ronnie's like, no, fuck y'all. I can do whatever I please. If I want to mix in some rap in there, some hip hop, we'll do it, you know. And that's what he did. I mean, hell, we got Yeehaw Core because of him. So I mentioned briefly like the track list, like what's it gonna be, and then I listened to the album and I'm like, wait a second. Well, some I did actually hear. I did not know, for example, the song Zombified was his girlfriend, hopefully future wife, Soraya's theme song on AEW. I'm like, oh hey, he included it in the album, nice. And it's a really good song. Y'all should definitely go listen to it. But out of this whole album, the way how it starts, wow. It kicked off with a bang. So there's this song called Prequel, and the way how it starts, it gives you like, you know, seriousness, kind of cinematic in a way. And when Ronnie starts hearing the lyrics with Dear Diary, I've been searching for a higher me. The way how he's like talking about not only the haters, but the way how, you know, he lived through his life and he is the way how he is for a reason. It's all in this song, and I'm like, sweet Jesus. And there was a line on the first verse that I was like, wait a second, did he really say that? He says, I survive a whole life of pain. You could say I escaped my fate. And I'm like, ah! But I think it's because he's still cool with the band. Like, it's nothing bad, I guess, because the reason why he was let go of the band was because of his arrest. And again, that's the mugshot as the cover for Popular Monster. To top it off, this is a really good song. Hell, they even freaking released a music video for it. So it's out on YouTube. Definitely go check it out. And I'm over here like, well, this could be like a continuation or before the music video of Ronald, because the way how it ended for Prequel, it was more like the same way the outfit that we saw on Ronald. So I'm like, it's a possibility. But what's gonna lead off after Ronald? Because I would like to see how that whole screaming show off was between Ronnie and Alex Terrible. You know, I'm still waiting on that. Now the next song after that is the self-titled Popular Monster. Now on here, I want to briefly talk about the way how the song sounds and the meaning of it. It's more hip-hop and then rock, which I totally love and respect. The chorus itself, I got a genius annotation, because the way how the chorus goes says, because I'm about to break down, I'm searching for a way out, I'm a liar, I'm a Cheeto, I'm a non-believer, I'm a popular monster, I break down, falling into love now, with falling apart, I'm a popular monster. So Genius basically says, there's like two contributors on here. Apparently, as Ronnie explained in a press release issue alongside the song and video on November 20th, quote, Popular Monster is the voice inside my head, hoping you will listen. It's the story of a hero that's been falsely accused and torn down by society. It shows what happens when you get pushed too far. You become exactly what they say you are, exactly what they want you to be, a monster. And it continues to say he refers himself as a popular monster because of his fame and criminal past. Being a liar, a cheater, and a non-believer are traits that people see or hear about every day, so he could also be referring to those kinds of people being popular monsters, similar to other popular monsters like werewolves and vampires that are literally popular monsters. In my personal opinion, I feel like, you know, yeah, that's the picture that they painted for Ronnie, but in reality, it's not really how he is. Like the only way he can be disrespectful towards people is if they disrespect him first. That's what I've been seeing on TikTok, so there's that. Now the next three songs, we already know about it. We're not gonna talk about it that much. All My Life, we talked about it. Ronald, we talked about it. The other one though, I haven't talked about it. It has been out for some time, which is The Voices in My Head. And that one is available on YouTube, like the music video and everything. So that's why I'm like, well, you guys already know it, so we're not gonna say much about it. However, it is a good song. The next one though, I've been wanting to listen to it because it features Soraya. So the song is called Bad Guy, and it's cool. It's a little bit, you know, pop and then rock. But it's basically the same thing with Popular Monster, you know, painting this picture for Ronnie, saying he's a bad guy, but he really isn't. So the more you listen to the song, it's like him saying, yeah, sure, go ahead and believe whatever they're saying. However, the song is very catchy, the way how, you know, he's describing what the media apparently thinks of him. Now, I feel like there is some symbolism behind this song, and for, you know, Ronnie including Saraya in it, because her lines is, you know, she's repeating some of the parts that he already said. She's over there saying he's the bad guy, he's a savage, he's obsessive, he's dramatic, he's a loner, he's an addict, and then you can hear her accent, he's so goddamn problematic. I'm like, I love it. I could not recognize her voice, but back to the symbolism. I feel like with her being a part of this particular song and her singing that verse, it's like her way of saying it's not true. She has been with him for, oh my god, I don't know how many years. Has it been 4 or 5? I don't know. But she's been with him for so long. And I've been watching Saraya as Paige in WWE. She has been going through some stuff from what I remember. And of course, I feel like she went through not a midlife crisis, maybe like a 20 crisis, whatever. We all go through it. I will say that. Where you just end up being with somebody that is not your match, is not your type, but, you know, she was there. I'm not going to judge her for that because, again, I feel like we all went through it. But the way how she's been with Ronnie Radke for so long, it just proves that he is not the same as, you know, what people have seen him in the past. He was going through a hard time. Again, we've all been through there. But in social media, I get it. Some people are like, but that's not really them. Who knows? But what I see on social media, the videos that they post, like whether if it's on TikTok, Instagram, wherever, they are so happy. Like, I don't see signs that Saraya is being abused or, you know, vice versa. It can happen to anybody. But they're so happy with their family that they have. Of course, they have, I don't know how many birds. And it's so cute. Obviously, it's goals. And then even Saraya talks so sweet of Ronnie whenever she was in the Dumb Blonde podcast with Bunny XO. And we mentioned it before, too. And so that is basically proof that Ronnie did change. And I feel like we haven't really touched this conversation. And I'm not just saying with Ronnie. I feel like with other artists and maybe celebrities, other personalities where they've done stuff in the past, but then they change. And I don't know if it's signs or destiny, whatever. Today's story is like, hey, can celebrities be forgiven for their past? And a lot of people are like, no, they already did it. You know, they can't be forgiven. They're never going to change this, and that. The only reason why I'm saying this is because I'm hearing stuff about Marilyn Manson, for example. And, you know, I steer clear from listening to his music for the allegations that has been spraying around. But then we were talking about Rammstein literally just now and how they're having some allegations. A lot of people didn't really say negative stuff about Rammstein because there wasn't any concrete evidence to support the allegation was true. Of course, there were some fans that just said, no, fuck Rammstein, I'm not listening to it. And I did the same way with Marilyn Manson. However, I'm barely finding out that, again, there wasn't any concrete evidence. And the same way, oh my god, I feel like there's so much shit going on. It's all connected. Oh my god. Insert the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme, you know, with the red yarn and whatnot. That's basically how I feel right now. Why? Because I just mentioned Saraya going through that phase. And I'm not saying like, hey, Evan Rachel Wood was in the bad. But at the same time, she was young. We were all young and naive, for Pete's sakes. And yes, I am going to include myself in there too. I've done shit in the past that, you know, again, do I regret it? No, because it was a learning lesson to me, life lesson. And people can actually say, okay, when we were in our early 20s, we did shit that, you know, is not, I guess we would say, no, it's not forgiven. And, you know, again, with this whole thing with Marilyn Manson and Evan Rachel Wood, you know, people would say, yeah, he groomed her because she was young. But I'm like, she wasn't a kid. She was, 19? She should have known better. But at the same time, when y'all were that age, I'm pretty sure y'all didn't know any better too. But yeah, it falls more on the people that are older, this and that. Now, I'm getting so sidetracked. Same thing with Ronnie Radke. Back then, he did shit. And people don't forgive him and have been painting a picture of him to this day. You know, he's changed and whatnot. And people are still like comparing him of how he was based on his past. Can people get forgiven for stuff like this? Because again, now he's sober. He's doing better, you know, ever since that whole incident. I don't know if maybe Saraya has part of it, of helping him get better. Or, you know, he just changed it because he knows, he's like, if I don't get better, you know, my life is going to be all fucked up. You know, fuck it. Even though the media, yeah, again, they're still going to keep attacking him regardless. And he is having fun for it. But look at him now. Like, he's having this tour. He's actually going to be here in Houston on August 30th. And it is not just them. Gavin Dance is going to be there. Black Bill Wrights is going to be there. Tech 9 is going to be there. And I'm like, I kind of want to go. It's on a Friday. Could potentially happen. Who knows? But still, not only that, he's also talking about how he's going to go to England for the first time. I think they're also going to celebrate Ronnie's birthday on there. But the show is actually going to be sold out. And I'm like, I wish I could go only because Slaughter Prevail's also going to be there. But still, he's doing so well. People are starting to see it regardless of the haters. People are still going to say shit. And Ronnie's still going to be like, you know what? Let me go ahead, insert my dramatic song. Cue the music. Let's go ahead and roast people. And it's good that he's doing it because, I mean, for comedic purposes. And so, say what you will. I'm like, I want to say, like with Ronnie, for example, just because of Saraya, who is somebody that, you know, I looked up to when she was wrestling, when she debuted. You know, she was over there making history. Since I have not seen anything bad going around her that Ronnie may have caused, I'm like, okay, I'll give Ronnie a chance. And plus, the music is not bad. It's really good. There's a lot of meaning behind it. So I'm like, okay, we'll go ahead and give that a pass. Now, I don't know the whole thing with Marilyn Manson. I'm still sketchy about it. You just never know. But at the same time, I cannot be a hypocrite because I'm over here giving Rammstein a chance. So, I don't know. That's me, though. Say what you will about me, but that's my personal opinion. I just feel like if people are just hating on music, just leave it alone, block it, whatever. I don't know what is the whole meaning of interacting with somebody, just showing your hatred towards these people. Like, what good it gets you. Anywho, back to this. The next song after Bad Guy is Watch the World Burn. Now, this song is definitely more hip-hop. I say, me personally, I'm like, I feel like I'm hearing Suicide Boys. I don't know if you guys know who they are, but that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, hey, it still sounds like a banger. And it's the same thing again. You know, he even starts off with, yeah, I got voices in my head again. And I'm like, oh, in reference to the other song. The next one is actually called Trigger Warning. My theory is that this song is regarding politics because he mentions some references on there. And I'm like, it actually steers clear from the main topic of the whole album, which is haters. But this one in particular is like, we take a break. Now let's focus on what's actually happening with our nation. And then let's go back to haters specifically. I think this is the only song that doesn't relate to the topic of the album. The next song is Zombified, which we listened to it before. Music video is also out there. I just realized Watch the World Burn has a music video for it too. But Zombified is actually Saraya's theme song when she goes to wrestle at AEW. So I'm like, no wonder it sounded familiar. I do like the song, by the way how it sounds. The next one though, this is actually a new song. Nobody has heard it probably. It's called No Fear. This one is also for the haters and also rapping. The thing is that verse 2 was definitely screaming to me, and I'm like, okay, we need to talk about it. And on here, it was mostly him talking to, again, the haters. I guess people claiming that the music and Falling in Reverse, or maybe the ones that Ronnie makes, is like copying from somebody else. However, he says in here, I don't mind when a band sees another success and gets inspired. It's the copying I cannot respect. and you can go to my label, my director, my producer, but you'll never get that magic at the level I do it. Now, I was looking at the song again through genies.com, and one person put on here that on the part where it says it's the copy and I cannot respect, supposedly maybe Ronnie or Falling in Reverse are calling out Motionless in White. And I did hear some things here and there that, you know, they had some beef going around. I thought they settled it by now, but no. And the thing is that I also have heard through numerous TikTok videos where music analysts are starting to notice that when bands release a certain type of music, another one tends to release something similar to it. So it looks like today's generation of bands cannot come up with something different. I'm not sure. And not even at this, there was also a response through this annotation on Genius where somebody else said, oh, they're also possibly calling out Palais Royale. And I guess whoever the frontman, the lead singer, has gone on record and still believes that Falling in Reverse copied the band. So I don't know, but that's the thing about the music industry. Whenever people is trying to come out with something, you never know. People are gonna still try to claim that, oh, they did it first. It's nasty out there, guys. And I don't think it's just the music industry. I think just anywhere at this point. Either way, Ronnie is still changing the way how he's releasing his music with Falling in Reverse with the song. And then the last one in the album was Last Resort, which is reimagined. I will admit, I listened to Last Resort, the original one by Papa Roach. And this one, you know, it is slow and whatnot. Not my cup of tea. So there's only like 2 songs in here that I was not a huge fan of, which was, you know, this one, The Last Resort, and then Trigger Warning. I don't know. But the rest, I did like it. If I have to rate the album, I would say 9.5 out of 10. Only because of those 2 songs. The lyrics, though, definitely a way of Ronnie lashing out to the haters in this way. Like, you know, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give you guys what y'all wanted. I'm gonna piss y'all off while I'm doing it too. And I'm like, damn, you know, with the music, the way how it sounds, it's so different. But I think with me, I have a history of liking music when it's like a combination of, you know, rock and hip hop, you know, with new metal, we mentioned it before. I'm still not feeling the whole thing with country. However, in this particular case, it was so much different, you know, with Falling in Reverse collaborating with Jelly Roll. I think maybe it's because of the heavy riffs that they included throughout the break. Either way, I love it. Definitely go check out this album. I highly recommend it. Now, we talked so much about this album and I'm like, oh my god, we need to keep talking about music. I don't know if you guys know. Yeah, we're already moving along. So, Sleep Token announced that they're going to be releasing a graphic novel that will be available this coming Monday, tomorrow, on August 19th. But it looks like not everyone will get their hands on it, as they will be releasing it in limited bundles. So, this graphic novel is called Teeth of God, and is created by the band, while the story and art will be by Juanito, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Fabi Marquez. Lots of fans are having theories that it will confirm Sleep Token's lore. I'm like, oh my god, there's a lore. Well, I figured, you know, if Ghost has a lore, I'm sure Sleep Token does. And not only that, people are also saying that they will be broke when it does release, because they're comparing it to the Bad Omens Concrete Jungle comic book. I don't know, guys, but if y'all don't know, collecting comic books is an investment. Just saying. Welcome to the comic book collection game. So yeah, I will check it out, see how much it costs, because that book looked thick as hell, like thick with 2 C's. So I can only assume it's probably gonna cost like maybe $50. Who knows? If it is a collector's item, probably like $100. Who knows? I saw a meme by the record company, Submarine Records, where you see Sleep Token's drummer, which goes by the name of 2. He's in the back, like, looking like Undertaker behind AJ Styles, if you know which meme I'm talking about. But he's in the back, and the caption says, Submarine Records Sleep Token graphic novel. And then in front of it is another drummer. I don't know who this guy is, but it says, my bank account tired of obtaining And Sumerian Records puts it on the caption, worship, with pointing the finger like, you best get it. Well, yeah, I'm sure a lot of Sleep Token fans are gonna get it for sure. I saw like videos and pictures on TikTok. Me, I'm like, if I have the opportunity to get it, I would definitely read it because it's graphic novels. Those are easy to read compared to like actual books. And I'm like, I'm interested into reading the lore. I mentioned the ghost lore, for example. Yeah, we have our lore. And they confirmed it whenever we watch Right Here, Right Now. So I'm like, interesting. Sleep Token's onto something. Which, by the way, I did listen to them. So far, my favorite song is Sugar. Not like the summoning. I think that's everybody's favorite song. I'm like, no. So yeah. The last thing I wanted to talk to you guys in this music category, and I did not know it was still a thing. So the MTV VMAs are still happening. They already released their nominations, and it's set to be on September 10th. Voting is now open. I saw the categories and I'm just like, I guess, but am I gonna vote? No. I still can't believe people still watch MTV. Like, I will go on there occasionally. Yeah, I have cable, but, you know, because of wrestling. And I will always see the same thing showing. Obviously, if it's not Ridiculousness, it's some other show, and then maybe a random movie. So I'm like, what is MTV even about if it's not music? It's so sad. The age of TV is slowly ending, just so y'all know, because WWE is going to Netflix. They're going to say goodbye to cable for a while. So, anywho, that was the last thing I wanted to mention. If you guys aren't interested in voting, again, all y'all got to do is create an account. I'm like, that's too much for me. But yeah, y'all can create an account and vote for your favorite artist and see who will win. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about gaming. I wanted to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 because they released their Zombies trailer. Oh my god, and the song choice. As soon as I heard it like vaguely, I'm like, I know this rhythm. It took a while for me, but it turns out to be Rob Zombie's Dragula. And the game itself though, if you think about it, the more you watch it, it was not focusing on zombies that much. We're talking alien spiders, some octopuses looking like creatures, and these enormous deformed zombies. The more I watched it, I was like, it's giving me Left 4 Dead vibes. So definitely go check it out. Some people are just like, what happened to the zombies games, you know? And I'm like, well, yeah, it changes, you know. It's not the same anymore now that they wrapped up the storylines, I think it was, for the zombies campaign. So yeah. The other thing, and the last thing I have for you guys in the gaming category is, I don't know if you guys have seen this trailer for this game called Mouse PI for Hire. I saw it on a post from IGN, and they said it's basically like Cuphead in black and white and in first-person shooter format. The graphics in the trailer are way much better than other games, and it's a cartoon game. Right now, you can actually wishlist it on stream, but there hasn't been any confirmation of when it will be released. Some people are assuming it might be until next year. Now, that's the last thing I have for you guys in the gaming. Let's go ahead and talk about wrestling before we wrap up this week's episode. We have to kick off with sad news. In case if you didn't know, the Samoan dynasty suffered another loss, and it happened to be Afa Anoa'i. He was the other half of the Wild Samoans and also known as Roman Reigns' uncle. The brothers are now reunited once again after a short time. It's crazy. Knowing how the funeral was for Roman's dad, Sika Anoa'i, I'm pretty sure they will be celebrating the life of Afa. It was so beautiful. Like, I've seen videos of it and everybody's so happy. And I figured it was because, yeah, it's a different culture than what it is here in the States. Like, we're mourning, we're sad, depressed, all of that. But over there, it's more like, let's celebrate his life, remember him for the good times. And everybody was happy, you know, cheering, doing a celebration, you know, because they live a long life. They did what they had to do while they were still around. And now they pass on. It's a different culture again. I can't wait to see it, but of course it is devastating for one person, you know, especially for Roman, who not only lost his dad, but now he's losing his uncle in a span of a month. It's crazy. Of course, everybody keep your thoughts and prayers to everybody, not just Roman Reigns, but his entire family. Now, let's go ahead and talk about something else, which is AEW. So AEW is now coming to Texas for All In next year. Unfortunately, Houston is not going to be the one hosting it. Instead, they're going to be at the Global Life Field in Arlington, Texas, or in other words, Dallas. I'm surprised though they chose Texas out of all the states here. You know, they're going to be in London for All In this year, and now they're back here in Texas. My question is, would the event be a sold out show? In my opinion, either they get better with the storylines or sell the tickets for a low price. Because I'm pretty sure it's not going to look that good if they're over there broadcasting a premium live event in their case, and there's a bunch of empty seats. Now let's talk about WWE. Did you guys catch who decided to finally debut on Raw 2 weeks ago? Odyssey Jones finally decided to join and defend the New Day after the Testament decided to attack them. If you guys didn't know, Odyssey Jones was in the WWE draft last year and never made his debut. I think Papa H said, you know what, we're putting you to work. One person posted on social media by the name of Anime Empire Studios, quote, Odyssey took longer to arrive than the dragons from Game of Thrones. And I'm like, I think that was my favorite comment out of the whole thing. Now that there's technically a balance between New Day and the Final Testament, I wonder when they're finally gonna clash and settle this feud, because I'm getting bored of it. Now, the other debut I also wanted to talk about, finally, is that the Wyatt Six debuted 2 weeks ago, and they won the match against Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. I saw on social media that after Raw went off on air, everybody took a moment and honored Bray Wyatt still, since the win was dedicated for him. It was an emotional moment, and I wish I was there, but thank God. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, Deutschland, WWE is coming to you, and in Berlin. We are less than 2 weeks away from Bash in Berlin, and Gunther is having his first match already, but with Randy Orton? First of all, isn't Randy on SmackDown? Second of all, we all know Gunther is winning this one, so it's like, what's the point? But I get it, you know, they are doing the first premium live event in Germany, so hey. Another match was also confirmed, but it's a little bit sus if you ask me. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Now, we know Cody ain't losing for sure, but at the same time, who else is feeling that Kevin might turn heel after this? Potentially, you never know. And then the other confirmed match that we are getting is Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest versus Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. Now, this was a little bit tricky. So we haven't talked about the whole betrayal that's been happening after SummerSlam. So there is reasons why the Judgment Day decided to betray both Rhea and Damian. So for Dominic's side, apparently, the reason why he betrayed Rhea was because apparently Rhea didn't see Dominic for the man that he is, and that Liv Morgan gives him all the tendies. Yeah, I don't know why, but him saying that had me dying on the floor, because I don't think I ever heard a quote grown man saying tendies in the same sentence. But he did it, he nailed it. The other thing too, I think it was a little bit more reasonable supposedly, is that Dominic said that Liv Morgan actually helped Dominic beat his deadbeat dad. So I'm like, oh, makes sense. But I cannot help, if you guys don't have an Instagram account, Rhea Ripley actually changed her profile picture to a picture of Dominic in a trash can, and I find that hilarious. So yeah, I love it. Go look at it. Fucking screenshot it. Make it your profile picture. I don't care. It's hilarious. But the thing is that now we know why Dominic betrayed Rhea. We were wondering why Finn betrayed Damian. So apparently Finn's reasoning was that they said that the Judgment Day will have no leaders, but Damian apparently took it upon himself to say, you know what, I'm the leader of the Judgment Day. Which makes sense, because I remember how in the beginning, whenever Damian was doing that, it was also rubbing me the wrong way. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, this is where the Judgment Day is gonna start clashing with each other. But if you think about it, it looks like Finn wants to be the leader of the Judgment Day. Now, some people were thinking, oh, are they gonna finally change the name to Balor Club or something? But no, they decided to keep the name Apparently there was another name that they were supposedly proposed to change it to, but they just said, nah, we're just gonna keep it as the new Judgment Day. I will admit, I'm gonna miss the whole jokes, the skits that they were doing, and especially like when people would call it the All Rise era, and meaning like JD was already in there, everybody else had gold. So it's like, oh well, now we're back to being all serious. And we're now cheering for the Terror Twins. So yeah, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest have joined forces because they have nobody else to turn to. And the good thing is that, of course, backstage, you know, they have this friendship. And I'm pretty sure, like, everybody else in the locker room is still cool because, again, it's entertainment. But, like, they're happy that they're gonna still work together. And, you know, again, get revenge on the Judgment Day. So it's gonna be interesting to watch. But again, I'm gonna miss the jokes. Other than that, I really didn't have much to talk about when it comes to WWE. I did wanted to talk about this whole storyline that the Judgment Day is gonna create. But at the same time, it's like we're still in the beginning stages. I'm not getting any more jokes, so I'm kind of sad about it. But yeah, we'll see. And oh my god, it's been over an hour. So with that being said, that wraps up this week's episode. As always, guys, make sure to follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at It's Lielers, and go check out the blog video. And also, do not forget to follow me on TikTok at Lielers. Lielers on TikTok. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know a little bit of ideas that I have for this whole platform. So if I happen to do a blog video, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a podcast episode on the same week, just depending. Like, I know I mentioned earlier about possibly going to see Slipknot and Slaughter to Prevail with, you know, whoever they're with. And that one, since it does take place like on a weekday, I still have time to edit on Saturday and then do the podcast episode on Sunday. But like, if I do something else, like let's say on a Saturday, you best believe Sunday I'm editing the video for it to be released. And because of the success of last week's video, I'm gonna let you guys know I'm going to SpaceCon. What? She's going to another convention? Yes. So blame my brother. He's the one that told me about it. I did not know it was a thing. So SpaceCon is gonna be taking place on October 25th to the 27th, and it's gonna be in San Antonio. Yeah, so I think the main guest on there for sure everybody's looking forward to is Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Even Rosario Dawson is going to be there. But I found out Giancarlo Esposito is going to be there. Star Wars fans know him as Moff Gideon. I know him as Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, so I must go see him. So yeah, that's my goal. So during that week, because it is also in San Antonio, there's gonna be for sure a blog video. I'll go over there probably on a Saturday, edit the video, and release it on Sunday. I don't know if there's gonna be any other conventions I might go or other events. We will see. I know for sure I mentioned Falling in Reverse. I don't even know if that will be a blog video because I'm like, I never done a blog idea video for previous concerts that I've been in. And I'm like, and even if I do Falling in Reverse, what's gonna be the blog about? Just me going to the venue and seeing the merch, seeing the bands perform, and then wrap it up. That's gonna be a lot of recording. Now, I do have this ex that, you know, he kind of got pissed at me for recording a whole show. And I'm over here like, well, yeah, because I like to relive it. But he found it cringe. And I'm like, maybe. I don't want to be that person. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to steer clear from not recording the whole concert. I think some people really do hate it when people do that. My ex is probably listening to this like, yeah, that's what you did with Rammstein. I'm like, anywho. But, so, I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think I would consider concerts like a blog video option. For sure, like, again, Slipknot and Slaughter Prevail is like a traveling thing because it's me heading to Dallas and then me having to come back to see another band. Now that is interesting, especially like going to Dallas. There's so many things to do, so we'll see. But anywho, even more reasons why y'all need to subscribe to that YouTube channel. So yeah, but with that being said, that wraps up this week's episode, and as always, I will talk to you guys on the next one.